Hello everyone, Mike here. So today I decided to do my January garden tour. Firstly, apologies for all the mess. The wind's been blowing everything everywhere, and I haven't had a lot of time to come out here and clean it up. Although I have been maintaining everything, so I will show you what I have been doing. As always, I am starting at the far end of my outdoor nursery, and I'll work my way through. So starting with the corner by the gates, I've now cleared out all of the wood chips, and I have put them on one of my beds there, so I'll show you that in a minute. But the storm knocked off these branches from one of our cherry trees, so I thought I'd use them next year, or this year now. So I thought I'd use them this year as well, instead of using bamboo, to use these because I already have them. So that way, I don't have to bring in too many things because I've already got them here. Then onto the large raised bed. I've still got all the leeks and onions here, although the leeks are now ready to harvest. Everything from this side has been removed. I gave most of it to the chickens because none of it was any good. The weeds had really taken over, so I dug all it over, pulled all the weeds out, and now I've just covered it in cardboard and put some crates on top to stop any weeds from coming up and also to stop the cardboard from blowing off. I've done the same with these two raised beds, just because I don't know how much time I'm going to have out here during the summer and the spring. So if I cover them over, then if I do decide to grow something, I can always just take them off afterwards. And this should keep all the weeds down. I've also organised all of my plants that I had for sale. As you can see, they're now all pretty much all in this middle row here, so that I can sort of keep an eye on them a bit easier, because before they were spread out everywhere and it was harder to keep an eye on what they were doing and if any of them needed any care. Yesterday I dug this bed over and actually found there were a load of volunteer potatoes inside, so I gave all of those to some family. And then I just covered it with cardboard that I got from some boxes of bare root hedging plants, because I thought instead of just using all of my wood chipping mulch, I could cover it with the cardboard so that I don't have to throw as much away. And then I'm actually using the cardboard too. And again, I've just put some pots and things over it to clear the space around the outdoor nursery, but also just to try and keep the cardboard down. And then I used up the rest of that wood chippings that was in that pile to cover the rest of this ground. I left this area free because there's some sweet williams and wallflowers growing here. And a while ago, some of you might remember that I had this big flowering cherry tree that was leaning towards our house. Well, what I started doing was cutting away branches. You can see where I've cut a few off that were leaning towards the house and towards the main garden this way. So I cut a lot of them off, and it has actually worked, because as you can see, it has now got new growth growing in this direction towards the wall, which is what I want, because, well, you can see it is leaning this way quite a lot. This area so far I've done nothing with. This will probably be something I either do today or some point next week, but I will get around to doing it because it does need a good tidy up, like these pots and all that are just empty, and do a bit of weeding because it's sort of grown over a little bit. But that's pretty much everything to show you for the outdoor nursery. Now I'll show you the greenhouse. So here's the greenhouse. It's been quite a while since I've shown you the greenhouse, so I will try and show you everything in quite good detail, starting off with this bench here. So this is my potting bench, and I got a load of plants recently that were very cheap because the person was trying to clear out any of their just all odds and ends so they could get in some new stock for this year. And then these here are the Griselinia from my Griselinia update video. I think that will be going up just after this one will be uploaded, a few days after. So you've got that one to look forward to. And then my sweet williams are still in here growing, doing very well. They haven't really moved. And here I've got 50 bare rooted, well, they're not bare rooted anymore, but they were bare rooted strawberry plants, and 50 bare rooted raspberry canes, which I've obviously potted up in the last couple of weeks. I've also got some box hedging. There's 72 here. Now, I thought I was buying 24, but it turns out there were, because I bought 4 6 cell trays. So I was expecting 24, but turns out there were 3 box hedging plants within each cell. So I actually ended up with 72. So I know these grow very slowly, but I'm not expecting to be selling them for a long time yet. I just try and grow things like this for, sort of a future investment. Then moving along, we've got all of the onions over in this corner. So here we have the onions and some broad beans I'm overwintering, because that way they can, because they're nitrogen fixing plants, so they can add a little bit of nitrogen to the soil to help improve the soil for the onions. So these are my most recently planted onions. These are some onions I planted about 2 months before these. And here's where just over here is where all of my garlic will go in a few days once they're ready. And once I have enough time. And then on the back wall here, I have all of my camellias. So you can see I've got a nice variety of camellias and some dianthus as well in this far corner here. Sorry if the camera was a bit shaky then, and I don't know whether it actually focused, but there is this trolley in the way, so I had to just lift the camera over. So here I've got some salvias, tradescantias, geraniums, a little bit of everything, but mainly just salvias and geraniums are in here. And they're all doing quite well. I wasn't expecting so many of these salvias to overwinter because they're now about a year old, so I'm surprised that they've lasted so long. And then I've just got a few cuttings on this bench. Many of them have rooted. Some physalis over here that I've just pruned for the winter. And then I've got these 2 quite nice, two nice Griselinia plants that I dug up from the chicken pen that I'd accidentally rooted a few years ago. So some more hedging plants, and I'll just take you around the other side. So here I've got all of the succulents, and then my garlic are just in here. Here are the Bellis perennis that were next to the Sweet Williams, but I've recently moved them. I've got my few herbs there and plenty of pots under here. And then I've just got some more hedging plants, some box here, Pittosporum, Griselinia, a few fuchsias in there and a few other things. Obviously I've got some scented geraniums here at the back. And then I'll just show you the inside of this little greenhouse. So on this top layer I've just got some geraniums which aren't doing too well. I'm going to have to try and take this cover off to aerate them a bit better, because they really don't like it in there. And on the bottom I just have some cuttings that I'm trying to root. Then to conclude the greenhouse tour, I just have this little bucket of fuchsias that I dug up yesterday from the plot, or the little bit just there, the bed I suppose you could call it. They were just against the wall. I think there's still a few more there that I'll dig up at some point. But thank you very much for watching this garden tour. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll be uploading some more videos very soon. Bye for now.